morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots. Today I'm going to try to give you guys a little update on a little bit of everything, but mainly the animals. I've been so focused on the garden lately that I haven't even had time to show you how the animals are all doing. So I'm going to try to catch you up on all of that. What are you guys doing? Why do you keep coming out? And what is it that you're eating over here that's so yummy? They have tore up the ground over here. And they just keep digging and digging with their beaks. There's something yummy in there. Hey Liam, you ready? Ready to go milk the goats?
Duck.
Duck, yeah. You like those ducks? You like those ducks? They're funny. All right, don't chase them that way. We gotta go back down to the goats. We gotta go to the goats. Come on. Come on, Liam. Wrong way. That's not the way to the goats. Do not follow the ducks. You are not a duck. These baby ducks are getting so big, and we still have not made a permanent change to their housing. I have done a temporary shelter setup. You see, we've got to run chicken wire across the entire top, but hopefully that blanket will protect them for now from any aerial predators. This is not a predator-proof coop in any way. This is just to keep them in and keep the hawks out. So that is working just fine for now. You can see how big they are getting. They are almost the size of the full-grown adults. They grow very fast, and they go through so much water and feed. But they are looking very good, very healthy, and we are so pleased that we ended up with this many. So we are super excited to see how this program takes off. So while 3 of our ducks go wandering off every day, the majority of them stay where they're supposed to. And you can see how much they've worked the ground over here. This is the area they like to hang out the most. We moved their pond over there to try to encourage them to go that way and clean that up, but they are usually right here. Right, guys? They're so cute. And we did lose one Muscovy, and we do not know how or what happened. We didn't see anything. It was just one tiny little clump of feathers, and she was gone. So, and it was in here, not out there. So, I don't know. I'm thinking it had to have been a hawk, but I don't know how a hawk could pick one of these up. So, this is our experiment. Before we let the youngsters out, we're trying to see if ducks are too big for hawks. Because that is our big problem with not being able to free range, is the fact that we have such big hawks here. But the ducks are doing well, even though I've got to clip some wings apparently. I'm tempted not to, because they do just fine. They stay in the yard and they just forage, you know, and I'm sure they're eating pests that I don't want in my yard. So on the other hand, maybe I should leave them and let them do their thing. They always run back in at dinner time though, or if I go anywhere near here. What you got there, Liam? A little friend? There's an itty bitty tiny baby praying mantis.
Oh.
He's so cute. You be careful and don't touch him. You don't want to hurt him. He's a good bug. And he's just a baby. Like you. But you're a big boy, not a baby. But you're my baby. The beautiful chicks are doing very well. They just had their breakfast. And they are chowing down. Boy, they don't pay attention to anything when they have food, do they? They're so cute. They are getting so big. And we have such pretty colors in this batch. I'm really, really excited. I'm like, I didn't want any more chickens right now, but in the same breath, boy, if we've got this nice of a flock coming in, this is quite the blessing. Unfortunately, there's a ton of roosters. If y'all know anybody in the Noonan, Georgia area that wants roosters, I mean, shoot, I'd almost give them some. If they were somebody who couldn't afford to buy any, I will gladly give them some roosters. But $5 a head on roosters, $10 if they want a hen. But I don't know that I want to part with any hens. And it is hard to tell right now still. Just because they have red combs doesn't mean they're definitely a rooster. Pretty birds. Growing up. They are so gorgeous. Love it. I meant to show you guys this yesterday. This is that blackberry patch that was covered with blooms and fruit. And look, they are ripening like crazy fast. But only problem is I'm afraid to climb in here with all this deep stuff. I'm afraid of snakes. I love snakes, but I don't want to get bit by no water snake. And we are right by the pond. But look at all those blackberries, y'all. I gotta get in there. Can you see how many are ripe? I told Ryan he needs to put his snake boots on and some heavy pants and get in there and pick them for me. Okay, I know I said it was an animal update, but I was just gonna update one little thing on the garden here. Is a viewer, actually 2 different viewers, suggested toilet paper tubes for the celery to blanch the stems. Unfortunately, I don't have, you know, 150 toilet paper tubes, but I cut up a paper towel tube and grabbed the toilet paper tubes I did have, and I'm gonna try. They said to just slit up the side and wrap them around the stems. And I thought that sounded like a brilliant plan. Oh look, there's a tomatillo still growing in there. Gotta get that one out. All right. Not the kind of tomatillo that you like to grow. It's the wild one that doesn't really produce a good fruit. All right. That's perfect. What a great idea. Thank you. I apologize for not noting the names on the comments. So to the very kind persons, because there were more than one that told me to do this. Thank you for your advice. This is so helpful. If I could just get some more paper towel tubes, that would be awesome. I'm going to put a post on Facebook on my personal page, see if anybody local has toilet paper tubes saved up for something that they wouldn't mind parting with, because this works. This is not that time consuming, and it is going to help blanch these stems perfectly. That's cool. Yay. All right. There we go. Celery in progress. This is what happens when your toddler crawls into your lap crying when you're in the middle of milking. Proceeds to put his head down on your shoulder and fall asleep. I'm in the middle of milking. I can't do anything. He's just so sweet. I'm just hoping these flies don't wake him up. Gosh, I hate this time of year with all the flies. Let's hope he stays asleep so I can finish milking. And here's my beautiful herd of goats. Aren't they precious? They're just wonderful, beautiful animals. They are mowing down on their hay and on their pulp, and pretty soon they'll go up and they'll graze all up in there. You see there's still a lot of green, low growing stuff, but they've mowed down all the tall, high growing stuff. Goats prefer that tall stuff. It's a survival instinct. Parasites are close to the ground. So plants that are close to the ground can carry parasites into their body. So they tend to not eat that as much. But it is clover, and they do love clover. So they'll probably eat it now that they've eaten the rest. we'll see. And this weekend we'll be moving the fence to open up another area. I love the rotational grazing and how it works so well for our animals. They love it too. Precious one, are you being silly? That's Precious. She's getting big. And Luna. Those are the only two does we had born this year. The rest are boys. Jeez. Those baby bucklings are getting big. We're gonna have to hopefully find homes for them. If you know anybody in the Newnan, Georgia area that's interested in very hybrid, well pedigreed male Nubian bucklings, please let me know. So despite the practicing you see those boys doing, they aren't even weaned from their mothers yet. They're too young to be weaned. So they are not able to have kids yet. I know there's some very rare circumstances where prior to weaning, some bucks have become fertile. I highly doubt that's gonna happen. And it is more likely with the Nigerian dwarf, not with Nubian. So we need to hurry up and find buyers for them. I would rather have the buyer lined up in advance to know where they're gonna go and start talking to the people and interviewing them and making sure they're gonna be a good home, mainly. And to have a down payment in advance would be preferred, to make sure that the person is committed to the purchase, and that would also help me financially because I kind of need it right now. But we also are considering selling a few of the Alpine does, the adults. I'm kind of going back and forth on that. I don't really want to sell them, but I think I'm more of a Nubian breeder, and the breeding of Alpines in the future might become more problematic, finding a buck and everything, unless I just make them mixed with Nubian. And that's a possibility. Because I do think we're going to keep, I know we're going to keep Cream, and I know we're keeping Kitty. So we will have to use some kind of buck with them anyway, in the future, but not for a while. This little one, I know I've got at least a year or maybe more before I have to worry about a buck for her, but because she's a small Nigerian dwarf, I do not want her breeding with a big Nubian buck. So that is something I'm gonna have to take into consideration, is that I will probably have to find a small buck for her, a Nigerian dwarf preferably. And just keep that Nigerian line going in her, just for the extra cream in my milk. I like it. I like her. She's sweet. Levernutter, what are you doing? You challenging Chaos? Chaos was milked today, and she did very good. Sweet baby, sweet baby. She is getting much more comfortable with me, and more comfortable with being on the milk stand for sure. I only got about a cup of milk from her, but see, look at that. She never would come up for pets before. She's getting so much more friendly. And I knew she would. I just sensed something about Chaos when she first arrived here, and she was skittish and scared and not like the other goats. I was just taken with her. She just seemed sweet. In her eyes, I could see it. And I was right, and she's a keeper. I love her. Some reason I always fall for the underdog. But boy, do I love my hybrid fancy Nubians. They are pretty nice. What am I gonna do with all these tomato cuttings, y'all? Holy moly. Anybody want some? If you're local to Newnan, Georgia, you can have them. Oopsie, I got tired last night and I forgot to bring those in. Look how wilted they look. They're in the same amount of water as the other ones, but they stayed out in the sun. That's not good for them. So they may not make it. Should have put them in the barn. But everything else looks wonderful. I gotta clean up my piles. I gotta go over my broccoli again, get any new worms off. I'm sure they're in there. I do see yellow jackets, so the yellow jackets do like to pick the worms off too, so that's a good thing. All of our chickens are doing great. They've been laying like crazy. We get at least 2 dozen eggs a day. We've been giving them some watermelon rinds, some special treats. They love it. They're doing terrific. There's already eggs today. Look at all these chickens. And the cool thing is this tractor right here is the youngest of our pullet age chickens, and they have started laying eggs. See that over there in the corner? Yay! Good girls. That one big white rooster in there. I thought that was a hen when I put it in there, so I gotta pull that one out. Put it with the roosters. But these were winter chicks, so sometime in the winter these were all hatched. We got 3 Morons. One of them is a Moron's rooster. And then 3 buff Rhode Island red crosses of some sort. Not sure. So as you see, everybody is doing fine and well on the homestead. We have healthy animals, we have healthy garden, and we are continuing our journey through this summer weather that we've been having, and we are looking forward to an amazing harvest from the garden and more milk and eggs from our animals, and we're super excited. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's little update on all the animals, and please like, share. If you've got any questions, comment down below. I'll be glad to answer them. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.